it comes to 360 diaphragmatic breathing, we hear that term a lot, especially while we're growing prenatal and as well as postpartum after we give birth to a baby. But a lot of us don't really know if we're doing it right, what that means. And so here we're going to break down exactly what it is and how to make sure we're doing it correctly. So diaphragmatic breathing is actually the relationship between your diaphragm and your pelvic floor. So they work together to adjust the pressure within your abdominal cavity to make sure and manage the pressure throughout your body so that when you do get a load or you start lifting up weights, your body's able to counteract that load and that pressure to support your core and the pelvic floor. It also helps stabilize your spine as well as supports and enhances functional movements so that when you're bending down to pick baby up, feeding, getting into the car, any functional movements, your low core and pelvic floor are there to support you. So you want to make sure that your 360 diaphragmatic breathing is on point and you know you're doing it correctly to both make sure you're birthing that baby and using that 360 diaphragmatic breathing while pushing, and also you want to make sure that after you start right away, or even if you're a year, 2 years postpartum, we want to make sure to start with that 360 diaphragmatic breathing to reconnect that low core and pelvic floor. So what happens is we have I can show you different methods. You can stick with whichever you prefer. So throughout the course that I give you for that Mama's Hardcore Reboot, there's different methods of 360 diaphragmatic breathing. Whichever you like the best and you understand you feel that 360 diaphragmatic breathing the best, choose and stick with that way. So if it may be on quadruped, so in all fours, maybe side lying, sitting on a ball, using ball press, whichever method you like the best and you can really make sure you're engaging that low core and pelvic floor, I want you to stick with that method. So I'm going to show you seated first, and then I'll show you the other different ways to give it a try, see which way works best for you. As you inhale, your diaphragm is going to move down, so it's actually going to activate your abs as well as reach your back and your pelvic floor so that it's lengthening and stretching all of those parts. So you should feel a lengthening and stretching of your pelvic floor, your back, as well as your abs. When you exhale, you're going to make sure your diaphragm retracts and moves upwards. So you should feel almost your hip bones come together, zip up like you have a little corset around your pelvic floor, squeeze your hip bones together, and then exhale like you're exhaling out of a straw, slow and control, and increase that pressure inside your abdominals here. So really squeeze your core together. Now you want to avoid doing a cat-cow sort of thing. So a lot of people I see doing cow and cat every time you do 360 diaphragmatic. I want you to keep a neutral spine, but just feel it around your back as well as the front of your core. So if I'm doing it seated, I'm going to take one hand around my ribs, one hand down on my belly. You'll take a deep inhale, so inhaling through your holes through your back, so you should feel it in the back thumb. And then exhale, squeeze those hip bones, zip up that pelvic floor, and blow like you're blowing out of a straw. And then relax at the bottom. Inhale through your back or your lats. Exhale, squeeze your hip bones together like you're blowing out of a straw. I'll show you one more time seated. Inhale through your back. Exhale like you're exhaling out of a straw. Another position that we can do 360 diaphragmatic breathing is in quadruped, which I personally like the best because I can really feel that full 360 expansion of my rib cage as well as my back here. I also like to use a Pilates ball to put in between my thighs so I can feel my hips squeezing together, so that adduction or squeeze into center line as my hip bones come together when I exhale. So you're going to put the ball, if you do it this way, put the ball between your thighs. Come to that quadruped position. You're going to gaze slightly out in front. You're going to inhale through your holes, inhale through wide through your back. And then exhale, squeeze the ball, exhale like you're exhaling out of a straw. Inhale wide through your back lats. Exhale like you're exhaling out of a straw. Inhale through your lats. Exhale like you're exhaling out of straw. You can also lift and squeeze for a little bit more of a challenge. You can always lift, squeeze the ball, and exhale and lift those knees, hover those knees, and really engage that core to add a little bit more of a load onto this exercise. But make sure you're not doing cow and cat. So when I inhale, I see a lot of clients go belly down, open up to that chest, which cat and cow is a great mobility exercise, but it's not 360 diaphragmatic breathing. So deep inhale, you keep that neutral spine. Exhale, keep that neutral spine, but squeeze those hip bones together. Another one we can do is lying on your side. So you can lie down, arm out. You can even hold your head like this, or lay all the way down. Hands on your rib like this, again with your thumb on your back, so you can feel that expansion of your back as you inhale. So deep inhale. Exhale, zip up the pelvic floor, squeeze the hip bones, squeeze the ball, blow like you're blowing out of a straw. And then relax. Inhale, make sure you're relaxing, so don't squeeze your hip bones together as you inhale. Inhale wide through your back, through your ribs. Exhale, squeeze your hip bones. Exhale like you're exhaling out of a straw. You'll also see different movements. You can also do it lying like this. So inhale through your back. And then exhale, you can push down on the ball. And it's a little bit more of a rigor here because you can feel your core engage as you squeeze your hip bones together. And I like using the ball for the 360 diaphragmatic breathing, especially pressing down, because it gives you some external visualization that you can see that you're doing 360 diaphragmatic breathing correctly. So deep inhale, exhale as you push that ball down. Again, you can also do this in quadruped. So one hand underneath the ball, which you'll have different versions within your programming. Inhale through your ball, inhale through your back or through your lats. Exhale, push down in the ball, squeeze your hip bones together. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze and let that diaphragm come up.